Hey everybody, this is Joe Joseph, and this is the DailySheeple.com's News Shot. Going over to the UK Sun. They say that taking ibuprofen to treat pain for just one day actually increases your risk of heart attack by half. Now, this is interesting because for years and years, I've been doing a lot of research into the war on drugs. And of course, we know that the war on drugs was a phony war that was concocted by President Richard Nixon and his cronies to persecute sections of the American populace. And of course, it's expanded in scope and size since its conception in the early 1970s. But there has been, of course, alternatives to opioid therapies and different natural cures, marijuana. Even aspirin has been vilified for years and years. And one of the main non-steroidal anti-inflammatories that have been pushed and over the counter and everything else is ibuprofen. Now, I have to admit, I take ibuprofen quite often because it works. If I got a headache, it makes it go away. If my back hurts, it helps out, takes the edge off, Now scientists fear that the drug may cause blood vessels to narrow, increasing fluid retention and altering blood pressure. It's interesting to note that if you take a look at the CDC's statistics on deaths, say by painkillers, right? If you take a look at over-the-counter non-steroidal anti-inflammatories, death by NSAIDs, and you take a look at death by, say, painkillers, meaning prescription medication. I think in 2015, it was about 18,000 people that died as a result of overdose by painkiller, by the actual over-the-counter medication. Consequently, over 33,000 people died as a result of NSAIDs. That's ibuprofen, that's Tylenol, that's naproxen. Non-steroidal anti-inflammatories actually kill more people each year than prescription medications. Now, I'm not talking about heroin or anything like that. I'm just talking about, we're going to keep things in context, and we're talking about when people get sick or injured, they go to the doctor. They'll either get a prescription or they're told, hey, it's not bad enough. Go over the counter, get some ibuprofen. You may even be prescribed ibuprofen by your doctor to get a more pure form in like an 800 milligram pill. That was like the thing in the military, was if you were sick, go get your 800 milligram Motrin. So yeah, now they find that it actually increases the risk of heart attack, which would make sense because of the mortality rate with this type of medication, with an NSAID. Now, this includes pills such as ibuprofen and prescription-only drugs such as diclofenac. Both are taken by millions for conditions such as headaches, back pains, and arthritis. The study published by the British Medical Journal says their effects on heart attack was almost immediate, but it wasn't long-lasting and it wore off over time. So past studies found that common painkillers increased the risk of cardiac arrest by up to a third. Now they see up to a half. It was 48%, or 1 in 7. 1 to 7 days, it raised the chances by 48% after you take ibuprofen. Diclofenac, 50%. Naproxen, 53%. It says taking stronger pills was more dangerous, but using the painkillers for longer than a month did not greatly alter the risk. So it basically stays there, but it tapers off the longer you don't take it. But very interesting because, again, we're being told in the United States and throughout the world that there's an opioid epidemic. And I would have to disagree because no one out there has defined what an epidemic is. And the reason why they don't define or set a threshold for what is considered an epidemic is because then they can use it for propaganda purposes. And that's exactly what they're doing now with opioids and with marijuana and with everything else to push the war on drugs is they're saying, oh, these epidemics exist. When in reality, we need to define what an epidemic is first before we can call something an epidemic. And if you take a look at death by NSAIDs outnumber death by prescription pain medication almost 2-1. It's very interesting. Now, again, I'm not taking into account street drugs. I don't really care. That's taken out of context. We're looking at people that are trying to get relief from pain. And so if you do that and you take a look at it, where is the epidemic? I'm Joe Joseph. This was thedailysheeple.com's news shot. Feel free to comment below and visit our website over at thedailysheeple.com. Have a great day.